Interviewing skills, subpar.
I wish I had prepared something to say.
Interviewer has suspect motives.
The interview.
Well, their song was called Blow, or I should say is called Blow. And you've been asking to hear from these guys since they got in the 30s on Foundations. And well, now they're poised to go top 20, and you're going to hear them every week here on the show. So let's catch up with Eva from Eva's Under Fire. How's it going?
What's going on? Hey, thanks so much for having me on the show, Shep.
Oh, hey, thanks for being here. And it was hard to nail you guys down. It took like 3 weeks.
Yeah, we've been busy. Yeah, thank you.
Rob wrote back and he's like, "Oh, sorry, man. I just saw this." But hey, you and the listeners said they want to hear from Eva's Under Fire because I already had another band scheduled.
Oh, no way.
For an interview. Yeah, and I was like, okay, so yeah, I'm interviewing them tomorrow for it was supposed to be for next weekend's show, but the hell with that. I told listeners what the two bands were.
They were like, Eva Under Fire, we need them. We need them.
I just got email after email after email, so you got some love, man. First off, I want to get a little background. Now, you're a Detroit band, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is everyone from the Detroit area, or does some people gravitate towards there?
Nah, we got a real old school story. So all of us grew up as downriver, what we affectionately call downriver rats. We are about 10 minutes outside of the city of Detroit, so we are considered downriver, right?
Okay.
So we always have our own little laugh about that because as you can probably imagine from just that connotation, nobody really expected much out of a bunch of downriver kids that got together and started playing in a garage. So we all met in the bar scene, playing in Detroit metro area. I don't know, years ago, and we were all in different projects then. But we ended up going to a mutual friend's show just to show support, and we weren't doing anything, at that time. And we ended up missing it. We said, hey, listen, we should just jam one time. And so we said, oh, okay, yeah. We get in the garage again and start jamming. And I think we probably wrote 3 songs off of our very first Anchors album that day. And we were like, yeah, we're falling back in love with this. Like, we should give this a try. Fast forward to meeting up with our producer, who was also a friend of ours from the local musician circuit.
Oh, so it's all local.
All local.
That's cool.
We know, yeah. And this is a guy that's he's produced the I Prevail Lifelines record, same guy. And we were saying, hey, we want to get attention on a national scale. What do you think? Let's do some things. He was like, yeah. He at that point was doing a lot of artist development stuff. So he had some cool ideas about how we could get our name out there. And as an introduction email that was totally unsolicited, we managed to land an interview with the Better Noise crew and subsequently a record deal. And the rest is history.
Wow. Takes off from that. That's a cool story, man.
It was a wild ride. Still is.
And now, what's the connotation between downriver and upriver? Can that be likened to wrong side and right side of the tracks?
I guess so. Yeah, kind of same feel. Yeah, if you're from north of the city, you should be doing fine. It's nice white collar out there, but south of the city is a different story.
So the city grinds for what they have.
Yeah. We're a bunch of blue collar families that were, just kind of, coming from, I guess downriver is, like you said, wrong side of the tracks, I guess is one way to put it. It's definitely not a desirable part of town.
Well, now I like you guys even better. I'm a huge fan of the black. I'm a huge fan of the Black Sheep, man. The Black Sheep, the awkward people who are never gonna amount to anything in people's heads.
Yeah. Hi, it's us. Hi. That's kind of where we're coming from. I mean, I would love to give people more of an idea about kind of what it was like. Maybe one day we'll do a book thing or something. I know a bunch of artists have done cool, just I guess, notebooks full of just information about kind of like where they're from. And I love rockers for that reason, man. You guys are killing it. Your listeners are amazing. I think that, just the support and the love in the rock and roll community for, especially like you said, like people that are not supposed to win.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of loves that underdog story. And so we've seen it even on tour. Like the other musicians are like, okay, so you guys weren't like put together in LA. You're like, no.
You weren't put together in LA. You don't have anybody writing your songs for you. It's like, no, we are real. And you actually play your instruments too. So that's probably kind of a cool thing.
Right. I know. Yeah. And you know what? I can't say too much about, other musicians and stuff like that. I feel like, there's a lot of other musicians that people like, they write it off. Oh, it's auto-tune. Oh, it's this or that. And truly, no. I mean, the effects and stuff like that people play live and things can be done in a very real sense. And maybe that person had, pre-programmed it themselves, which is also another skill set that a lot of people don't necessarily. You know what I'm saying? So like before you go out and judge people that don't actually play their instruments, like maybe I have seen egregious use of that, unfortunately, almost abuse of that, unfortunately, in the live scene. And you have too. I mean, you've been to a million shows, so you get it. So I think that there is something to be said, though, for like a real underdog story with a bunch of people that grew up together, truly. Still play in my garage.
You still play in your garage? So this is a total love. You're totally in love with your job. It's like not only okay. Now that goes into some things that I want to talk about as far as your music goes, because I can feel that kind of passion in your music. If you go back, I believe the flagship station first played "Eva's Under Fire" in 2016. Because we were doing like unsigned and brand new up and coming stuff, and found you on Reverb Nation. We're going through a bunch of like those smaller like unsigned like artist things, and that's when I first heard it. I was like, these guys, okay, either they have a hell of a lot of talent or somebody's giving them a lot of money to sound good. What's going on? So then watched you over the years, and where I'm going with this is right before Blow, you guys released a cover. The Monkey Boy, our new music guy here at Real Rock Nights, played. He thought that was phenomenal. He was like, it wasn't like a karaoke version. How did that come about? Separate Ways by Journey. Yeah. How did that come about?
Okay, so we, as I mentioned, we all play, together. We're all from the same area. And so when the whole like COVID thing happened, it was really bizarre. Obviously, so many people were just dislodged from their normal life. We were kind of all exposed because we were actually in Manhattan with the label doing like meet and greet stuff when the world shut down.
Okay.
So that was really bizarre. So when we came home from that, we were like, okay, all of us have kind of been exposed at a really similar time. Like, we don't want to just sit, and not do anything. So a friend of ours locally was doing, she's a promoter in the area, and she was like, I have a food truck that I'm going to do outdoor stuff for every other week. We're going to try to do something because that's the only game in town to do anything. And we were like, okay, well, we still want to play music. She was like, can you learn covers? We were like, yeah, we can learn a bunch of covers. We ended up learning we played Zeppelin, we played Metallica, we played all kinds of stuff for this just event. There was nothing else to do.
Wow.
So we went and we played, as I mentioned, we're downriver, so we went and played Riverside, for a bunch of people out in this, restaurant patio. And that was one that just really stuck. I think a lot of people were very surprised that we ended up playing Separate Ways. We had played it before. It just wasn't like anything that was, super serious. We learned it acoustically for this reason, but then people really started to respond. So we put it in the live set as a full band, and people lost their minds. Like from the very first, little riff of that riff that comes in, people are like, they're going to do it. They're playing this song. No way. And people were like freaking out. So we were like, all right, well, we brought it to the label. We were like, look, I know a lot of stuff was delayed because of COVID. You know, I think this could really get a lot of people's attention if we were to release something like that. They were like, let's try it, you know? So it ended up being like something that we actually put out on Spotify and like promoted, and like it just kind of, it was a little bit of a attention grabber for us, you know, which is something funny for us is that a band that's grown up in the bar scene, right? That's like the oldest bar scene trick in the book. Yeah. You know, for an original band to go up there, you play a really good cover that people are like, oh, okay, now there's heads that turned. What else that you got, you know? So that was kind of...
Exactly. Well, when he first played it, I at first, I was like, I've never heard it as a rock song before, you know? I only noticed like a top 40 song. And right. It's like, this really works really, really well. So it makes me wonder, it's like... do you guys have something else in the pipeline? Because you're talking about doing all these covers.
It's just honestly fun to do, and I think that there's so much culture around that now, where people on, you know, Instagram and TikTok all over the place are doing these mashups and doing these reimagined versions of things, and I think it's really fun. People are responding to, you know, these different versions of these songs because it's familiar and yet not. You know what I'm saying? So it really is attention grabbing. So I think we just kind of wanted to hop on that train and have fun with certain things. And, you know, we picked a couple of covers that we thought could be really cool, you know, while we kind of like get our stuff together for this record release.
Well, it's kind of cool because it basically set you up and put that platform out for you to release Blow, which when I heard that, it was almost... well, no, it wasn't almost. It was a holy fuck moment. Yes. When I was like, what the... is like, talk about a banger, man. And
thank you so much.
How did you guys hook up with Spencer?
Oh, that's a fun story. So speaking of COVID land weirdness, so we did the song. It was something that was a little bit outside of our scope. We were challenging ourselves to have fun with something that could, you know, so, and a lot of times the other songs that we had done before was like more aggressive. You know, this one feels aggressive but sassy. It's got that like fun energy to it. So I really liked how it went down. Then the label wanted it for the Retaliators soundtrack. And I am acting in that movie and Spencer is acting in that movie. So the label was like, hey, you know, should we float this to him? And I was like, if you get him to hop on this track, I will love you forever. Because we're giant fans of Ice Nine. So they were, you know, wondering if he was going to respond. Not only did he respond to get on the track, he was like, hey, we should write the second verse according to my character in the film. I was like, this is brilliant. Let's do it. So it was really fun to do. I was so glad that he wanted to hop on the track. And it was so, I was a little bit nervous that he wouldn't want to, because obviously we're very unknown and I haven't met him. Like a lot of times I was thinking that these, you know, connections would happen organically, but in a world that is shut down, you can't really have that. Yeah. So I was really glad that he wanted to do it. And then fast forward to when the song was done, and we were not this past Rockville, year before, we were able to play. So we were there and we saw him, and I just sort of like waved from afar, was kind of wondering if he was going to recognize me. And he comes over, he points at me, he goes, I'm about to blow. You know, he starts singing the hook as he's coming over and stuff. It was like a really like, you know, bring me in for a big hug moment. He's such a sweetheart of a guy. So I was really excited that it happened that way.
So, well, those places are so fun. It's almost like a family reunion of sorts. It's weird, man. You see the same people year after year after year. Next thing you know, you're hugging.
It's so fun to me to kind of like, now that we're finally in the touring world, like I'm seeing how much of a family this really is. So, which makes my heart break even more for like, we never got to be part of touring before the whole world shut down. But like, I can see now why so many people were so distraught, because it truly is family.
It really, I'm still not even like back to normal. I'm still doing stuff this way because things are so weird, especially the one-off shows aren't that bad. But like the festivals and the arena shows, they're so careful, and they have, I mean, we have like a list of things. Media has a list of things that we have to go through, like to actually get artist access. And then the access isn't really it's like, okay, I don't want to interview a person from 6 feet away. It's not, it's
here, I'm way over here, right?
It's like, so what do you
It's bizarre. I hats off to you guys for doing what you do. I'm glad that there is mediums like this to where, you know, we can catch up. And it's convenient for sure when we're on tour. We can do stuff like this, and so many people are so used to it now. Everybody's got their respective setups. So I'm glad that we can at least, you know, but getting out there and actually playing those shows is surreal.
But I liked being like the serial stalker when you're at your merch booth and stuff. So, like, hey, I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, not this guy again.
No, if they're at their merch booth, it's fair game. They want to be out.
It's fair game.
Yep, fair game. That's what I tell people all the time. They're like, can I bother you for a photo? I'm like, please, I want to be bothered. I'm out here.
I'm bored.
Yes, please come hang out with me.
I am looking so forward to you guys getting in the top 20 so I can be playing you all the time. It's like,
thank you so much.
All these bands that we grab onto early on that end up seeing so much success, like even the ones that ignore me after they get too big, it's like, even those, so actually you laugh, but that actually has happened twice now. It's like, and one of them actually, she lost her record deal and started coming to me. And I was like, hey, you were the one that blew me off for like a year and a half. So I'm sorry.
Like, you could have been head caught up. We could have done these things already.
Now, Love, Drugs, and Misery. Are we going to see, is Blow just a little bit of what's to come? This isn't the best you've given yet, is it?
No, it is definitely not. It is definitely the lead single, and it has its purpose, and I love the song for that. But there's so much more fun to come on this record. I honestly like Love, Drugs, and Misery is the... So I came up with the album name because I thought these are themes that we see in each track. There is something to be said about these three themes. And I think that's really like, you know, pretty well encompassing of like a human experience, right? Love, drugs, and misery. There could be any moment where I feel like that's super relatable, right? That different people will, you know, so I'm hoping that there's a lot more that people will gravitate toward on this record. There's a lot of like just really fun songs that are on the record, but there's also very meaningful, empowering songs, as I feel people have come to expect from our name, from our brand, because we're very, very invested in mental health as a brand, as a band, as a, you know, musicians that play with our hearts out, but also me lyrically being invested in mental health awareness. So there's a lot more to come. I can't wait to show you guys the record. I'm constantly knocking on the door of the label, like, you have to get this to them soon. you have to let them put it out soon. And so it is soon now that the world is getting back to the full swing of things. I think that we will be seeing this hopefully this fall.
Well, when you work on something for a long time like that, and it is so good, yeah, of course you want to get it out in front of the people. You want people to know exactly what you can do. So
we're excited too, because as I mentioned, we've been on tour with Skillet, and we've been on tour with Siri, and we've been on tour with Nothing More, Asking Alexander. It was so amazing. I was so sad when they couldn't complete the tour with us, but we took their friendship and fortified ourselves to be able to finish it out. But it was incredible to see all of these musicians and all play for their audiences, you know, because we're building ours, but to be invited onto those stages. There was one song that we haven't released yet that people were really like freaking out and responding to. So I'm hopeful that that's going to be the next one that we.
Oh, really?
Guys, yeah, there was definitely a song that was like, you
can't give me a hint.
The song is called "Coming for Blood." I'm just gonna say it. It's called "Coming for Blood."
Okay.
That particular track, I think, was raising its hand live, and there's been a bunch of people that have like kind of, you know, put it out on the YouTubes. So if you want to go check it out, try to search for that one. It's not available for streaming yet, but that one is something that I feel like would be raising its hand.
Okay, well, I'll go check it out. Is it kind of one of those like audience participation things? Is that what makes it so fun? Or
I don't think so. I was just telling people, hey, do you want to hear the song that we haven't released yet? And they would just, everybody, freaking out. But then when we played it, I could see, how you could like from the stage, you could see the audience when they're just like head bob, their hands are up, they're like, what I'm saying? And then when the solo kicks in, I know I have them if they're freaking out by the solo and everybody's super loud in the audience. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody was having so much fun with it. And I think that at the end of the song, when we finished the song live, I could audibly hear a difference. Like people, that volume is up there if they're really having a good time. So I was paying attention. It was almost,
it sounds like you might have been introducing yourselves to some people. Maybe they didn't know who Eve Under Fire was or weren't really familiar with Eve Under Fire. And then we're like, holy shit, this is a great band.
I think they definitely had something there. They had some love for the brand when we left, and we were saying, we are Eva Under Fire, and everybody's going, yeah. I love the live show, man. You're never going to give me a better space to be in. Truly, it's just so fascinating.
Tours, live shows. What are we looking at for in 2022? What are you setting up for this new album?
We have so much cool things.
I see the eyebrows.
Yes, we just got off of our tour with Nothing More, but fear not, if you couldn't come, we are going to be at Louder Than Life this year. We're going to be at Aftershock this year. We're going to be at Riff Fest this year. If you're local to our Michigan people, come hang out. Or if it's within driving distance, because there's a lot of really cool bands that are playing Riff Fest this year. Dirty Honey is going to be there. Disturbed is going to be there. It's going to be sick.
Eve Under Fire is going to be there with Blow, and they're going to be playing like Out for Blood. You got to get and see it.
Yeah. The Coming for Blood song, I think, is one of them that we're going to be doing live that set as well.
Oh, Coming for Blood. I suck.
Yes.
I suck.
No,
you're a dumbass.
it's like, it's not even like out yet though, dude. Like you got this.
But you just said it. But you just said it like 10 minutes ago.
Okay, I corrected you. It's fine. Okay. They know what it is now. Look for that song, Coming for Blood. Also, we're going to play Blow. Come hang out.
4-state radius. That's my deal with all of you. 4-state radius. They get within a 4-state radius, you better fucking go, okay?
Yes! I'm ready.
Eva, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. And what do you say we let the Real Rock listeners hear Blow?
Perfect. Let's do it.